Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's JQ here, and today we're playing some Torment, Tides of Numenera. This game caught my eye on Steam not too long ago because I actually bought another game similar to this one called Tyranny. And man, Tyranny was cool, except for the fact that I hated the combat system. I don't like that real-time, press spacebar to pause, and then assign actions garbage. I don't like it. I mean, some people like it, so it's not garbage for everybody, but it's garbage for me, because it bores me. And I have to enjoy my combat to play my game, so I bought this in an attempt to, get a game with just as cool a story and premise going on that had a combat system that I didn't hate. So, let's jump into it and see what we got. I'm not sure if the whole story is available right now. I'm pretty sure this one's just the first chapter because the game is still early access. Maybe I'm wrong.
Your mind wakes in darkness.
Oh, it's narrated.
Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important, as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open. The body is... wait, you are wearing a form-fitting suit of some dark material. You recall that you were wearing something much more elaborate a short time ago. You have smooth, light brown skin, 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. Good muscles, strong but not bulky, and slim hips. Your palms are soft, as if they have not done much labor, but scars and burns on the hands and wrists suggest that you haven't always been careful. Why can't you remember this? Without warning, the cocoon that surrounds you shreds and tears away. You are falling. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in on itself. The world is many kilometers below you.
Oh shit.
Instinctively, you spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well. And you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe.
This is pretty fucking cool.
With island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
Well, right now, what is happening to me is more important.
A huge megacontinent, the only land of any size, on this side of the world at least. Great inland seas and lakes dot the land, and curiously, regular mountain ranges march up and down and across. You are falling toward what looks to be a great bay, a sprawling city perched on its shore just to the north. Further to the north and east, you see a broad plain scattered with curious structures, visible even from this height. The northeastern portion of this land looks to be a desert, a strange blue dot like an eye in its exact center. It seems to hold a city in its watery grasp. To its west is a ring of huge mountains, surmounted by enormous carved peaks spewing magma into a central catch basin. What concerns you most right now is the bay below you. It's coming at you quickly. It's fruitless. You've reached a velocity.
We're a little bit busy right now to remembering shit.
You spread your arms and legs and try to catch a draft, and it looks like you'll hit the bay that's rushing toward you, unless you hit the building in its littered waters. A strange web of colors surrounds you, thrown by a figure standing on the balcony of the structure. But it is effective only at slowing your fall. You strike the building hard enough to crack its crystalline structure, and you hear one of the engines that supports it protest and howl, and the agony of the crash overcomes you. And then, darkness.
I would figure as much. I should be dead. I should definitely be dead. I like that it's narrated, though. That's a cool touch. Ow. Okay. So... Metal waves. What is this? Okay, drops of liquid. So it hungers for the light. Let's examine it here first. You trace your I'll start reading these. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral up from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflected light streaks across the surface of the bowl, and as another droplet falls from the ceiling. Oh, it's the same. The slick overlap. Yeah, each shining drop of light. Yeah, okay, so this is nothing important. Do I have to move the bowl? Is there another option? I mean, generally speaking, when I play these kind of games, I'm not the might-based character. Okay, you have 3 stat pools, might, speed, and intellect, that you can spend to increase your chances of success. This is called using effort. Oh, I get it. Okay. To more easily move the bowl in front of you, use mouse to spend might for a higher level of effort. Don't worry if you fail this task. In Torment, failure often results in interesting outcomes. Well, the most interesting outcome I can imagine here would be to cut my hands open, so I'm just going to use 80% seems like a fair enough chance. Oh, nice. Critical success. You carefully take hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of fallen light. Oh, okay, now I can see the bowl. Drop by drop, the bowl fills, ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello, are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path up to us and be careful. Okay. I can overturn the bowl. Why would I do that? As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. You stand in the front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dark. You've had a moment's respite from the waterlogged hell, a bubble of stale air at your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves. But this body is an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Your words echo clearly, and he looks up, surprised, as you cut through his indecisive daze. He grimaces and says, "All right, we'll be through this door before they catch up." His fingers make minute adjustments to the knobs and blinking levers in the device, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water-bordered cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. You focus on the cloudy base of the pedestal. Your fingers instinctively find the control panel for the jeweled force field, almost as if you had built it in the first place. You remove it, casting it to the side, and you reach inside to deactivate the crystals that power both the pulse and the pedestal. As you remove them, a scaly hand falls on your shoulder. Your head whips around and you see only the inkless blackness. Your head whips around and you see only the inky blackness of a piscine eye. Wow, I read that horribly. The memory begins to fade as you are being drawn backward through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap of your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. Okay, this is well written. I'm liking it. Climb the fuck out of here. No sign or symbol tells you what might be behind this enormous door. A dull chill radiates from its bronze segmented surface, and the thick metal wheel seems frozen into place. The light around this door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in the high wind. Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, to no avail. Interesting. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. You are self-aware. Humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were, desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we found? Let's use charm. I'm a charming kind of guy. A cloud passes over the sun as you engage her in spirited, friendly debate, pointing out the footprint of a prior world civilization whose power remains untapped. After a few minutes, she laughs, raising her hands in mock surrender. Stop, stop. Your servitors are down there. You've already chosen this site. This is the site, haven't you? She waits for your affirmation and says, all right, I'm convinced. The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Maybe it's that. I'm gonna look at that. A mist falls onto the plateau as you wrap a fiber shielding mesh around the construct's skull. The mesh powers up, protecting the construct's mind from any transdimensional emissions that might be in the area. Taking a deep breath, you repeat your command. Acknowledged, it obediently trundles to the site of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel memory filling the gap in your mind, block by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head. Reclaiming your memories hurts. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift, one by one, on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you are doing, and is hunting you. This is an interesting first segment. A vision of a city springs up around you, your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn toward the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor and holding a hilt with a sizzling invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. Okay. I'm gonna hit him before he can attack. Let's do it. You roll under the blurring arc of his axe. He's overconfident, testing you without committing to the attack. Yes, he's fast, but not as fast as you are, and when he raises the great axe above his head to finish you, you're able to bury your blade under his breastplate. The blade emerges from the back of his neck, and his life's blood washes over your hands. He falls, taking your weapon with him, and his companion attacks. Her invisible blade is far more lethal than the giant's axe. You duck as she thrusts at you, and the wall behind you hisses, destroyed. Her return swing cuts through your armor, ruining your breastplate. She doesn't have to be skilled with a weapon like this. She just has to make contact. You time your attack just as she pulls it back for another strike. You barrel into her, driving her over the wall, and she drops screaming to the ground 50 meters below. The immediate threat ended, you focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. Sneak past him. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly, the sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you, like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. Let's get out of here. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocked symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more, but that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precarious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories the memories you discovered within the orbs, and the choices you made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling toward the ceiling. I'm gonna take the stealthy one. Hell yeah. You blink and the doppelganger is gone, or so you think at first, for you can hear, just for a second, a low chuckle somewhere behind you. When you finally blink, it stands before you once more, behind the glass where it belongs, and waiting for your decision. Yeah, that's me. That's definitely me. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edge of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward, its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face reflects confidence and cleverness. Shadows of weapons flicker in and out of its hand, and a few devices shimmer on its belt. You get the feeling you, would be comfortable in a variety of situations. The word Jack sounds in your mind. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out into the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly, a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds like a bell. If bells could rot, something is coming. The mirror fades, leaving a dark, open doorway. You take a breath and step through. The Spectre. Everything about this spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pooled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they're more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you've got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body is still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out there and finish the process. He shrugs. It shouldn't be too hard. After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that, and everything will be fine. I remember pieces about it, but not the whole. It's a crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it and a metal ring set in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. When you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's the sorrow. I hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why. It just happens. That's a good question. It's your mind. A construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts, store your true self. Wait, you know how people say, in the first place? This is definitely the first place of your memory. Well, it was the first place for me, anyway. You'd probably know better, since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it'll come to you later. I'm you. I'm a part of your mind, a splinter. I was waiting here for you. We called you, with memories of the others who are here. I don't know what happened next. Tides are like a force, like gravity, or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is, your body in the real world, needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. I'm just a part of you. I look at you and I know. This place was made for you, for us, and I remember pieces of knowledge that come to me when you ask your questions, but that's all. There's a portal down there. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it, and the whole tides thing should take care of itself. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What in the hells is that? Looks like the Sorrow. Gods, it's the Sorrow! The sorrow is anchored to those reflections. It's devouring their power. We have to get rid of them, destroy its anchors, or else the sorrow will erase us forever. Okay, well, it is a crisis. You can take one action. You can also make one move. Okay. Okay, that reflection near you. Kill it. You're losing the sorrow's anchor. I'll take care of it. Effort can be applied to attacks to increase your chance to hit. As with other attacks, each level of effort increases your chances by 20%, at the cost of 1 point from the stat pool. Unarmed attacks use speed, but other weapons and abilities may use might or intellect instead. 80's good enough for me. Trying to hide in my mind. That's great. I got a movement greater that I can. Jeez, they're just getting all over the place, aren't they? Well, I don't need a double move, so there you go. What's it doing now? It's infecting it somehow. Oh, that's great. That's lovely. Fettles are temporary conditions. Reduce the character stats. Sorrow has just placed a fettle on the remaining reflection. You can't remove this fettle, but you may find a way to overcome it. Okay. I gotta hit harder. How? God, they're just flying everywhere. Okay, Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna go get it. Get out of here. Okay, well, that thing was in my head, and pieces of it went everywhere. You pried it loose. That thing is a cancer, an infection. It's unstoppable, but you stopped it. I can't believe it found us in here. That thing, the sorrow, it's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you until you activate the resonance chamber. I didn't remember until I saw it, but that's why the chamber is so important. You have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome there. Go, now! Okay. Don't gotta tell me twice.
Where did he fall from? His body smashed to talk. So wonder he's still breathing.
All I saw was the corona, not his origin point. But look, he's healing already. Spontaneous regeneration.
I know that face. Yeah, it's because you're me. You're all me. I think. What was that? What did you do, Castelage? Yeah, this is the first thing you notice is the man's kaleidoscope of tattoos writhing across his forearms. He wears a long dark coat, belted at the waist. supplies filling the pockets. His boots are worn and stained with years of travel. You blame me? He emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Aligern. Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimuli that you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remain constant through these shadows. Oh yes, it's obvious, Castellage. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal, we know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. Was I dead? You fell from an incredible distance, yet here you are talking. Do you really not... He cocks his head to the side. You don't know, do you? I'm starting to think you're not him. Starting to think, Aligern? Tell me, is it a novel experience? It's his face! I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changing god could have healed so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You know what this means to me. You're familiar with the word changing, Aligern? It implies inconsistency. Thus, the changing god may well have changed. Several versions of her shrug, and she addresses you. You'll have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Her most solid self curtsies while the others bow or spin. I and my sisters am Castellage. This is Aligern. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a cast-off. The changing god created you, body and mind. Your sire used your body for a time, then abandoned it for reasons of his own. When his mind departed for a new experience, you were born in his cast-off shell. Okay. So you say I was born when the changing god left, but why am I not dead? I used a cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed an ordinary person. But think about it. If you're the kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do you do? If you've constructed bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever. You're not going to let your life end by accident, no. You'll make strong bodies, fast, powerful. Maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. The changing god has always been vain. He rarely stays long on a shelf that doesn't suit his self-image. She looks you up and down, her smile suddenly unnerving. Perhaps the changing god fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. About the tides. I've heard that term before, a subject your sire has studied in great depth. I'm afraid it isn't my field of study. Blast of energy. As I was telling my colleague, it was obviously a physiological reaction of some kind. I've never witnessed the birth of a cast-off, but yes, it could very well have been caused by your nascent consciousness. Don't worry, I don't believe it caused any real harm. Not to me, at least. Really, you've been more abrasive than ever since we came in here. He shoots her a sidelong look. She just can't empathize with other people unless she's experimenting on them. Okay, where is he now? If he abandoned your body, then his consciousness fled to another. He eyes you keenly. Oh, do stop. The look she gives Aligern is equally piercing, amplified by the withering glares of her sisters. If there's one thing we know about the changing god, dear, it's that he always has a contingency. This child was born here. The object of your obsession will have been reborn somewhere else. You mean aside from your miraculous reformation? For one thing, there's your tattoo. All cast-offs have one, though its purpose is beyond me. And then, of course, there's your delicious naivete. Wow. He could be faking it. You don't live hundreds of years without learning to lie convincingly. Oh, she sighs in exasperation that says to you, what do you think? Are you a newborn child, or are you a powerful immortal whom death has robbed of his memories? Aligern crosses his arms and growls. Fine, what do you think? I don't know. He forces a smile onto his face and pats you awkwardly. His brow remains furrowed. You don't know? Perhaps we can talk about what you do know. She laughs scornfully. He clearly knows enough to evade your clumsy accusations, Aligern. You have nothing to go on but bitterness and bias. He looks away, and his composure slips a little. Gods, you're so rancid sometimes, Castellage. If it did, it was damage in our minds. Though how you check if it carked her, I couldn't say. Tough to find normalcy there. At least we know it didn't hurt Aligern. That skull's as thick as an organic stone. Okay. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised it's all you saw. Okay, a spectrum of your sires, or a sanctum of your spires. The common belief is he has several such places throughout the Ninth World, possibly other worlds as well. We were only just able to gain entry to this one because of your grand entrance. Cast dozens, hundreds, who can say? Your sire has been doing this for several centuries. Though if all of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's a wonder any of them survive. An excellent question. Having seen your regenerative abilities in action, I suspect they are primarily physical, a regrowth. If that's the case, you'd be unable to survive most varieties of psychic or molecular decomposition. Disintegration, conflagration, and so forth. Degenerative diseases could pose a problem, and I know of several entities capable of psychic destruction. As she spoke, a vision flashed into your mind. It's not yours exactly. Somehow you know this is a memory of the changing gods. You are in a dark room, lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms, the many machines surrounding you. What about a body that can withstand the sorrow's attack? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No, you reply. The thing has no respect for barriers of any kind, physical, temporal, psychic. This is the only way. With a series of gestures, you bring up an image of a crystalline pod. If the resonance chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the sorrow's hunt once and for all. We just need the right focal point, a catalyst. The memory fades. Castellage is still talking. You realize the device you saw in the memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks just like the Spectre had described it, a transparent sarcophagus inside a crystalline dome, with mechanical arms arrayed around it on a metal ring. Unfortunately, the dome is shattered, the sarcophagus is cracked, and one of the arms is in pieces on the floor. Whatever its function, it clearly needs repair. Or flesh-eating viruses. One presumes disfigurement by the iron wind would likewise be devastating enough to... Aligern. I think he gets the point, Castellage. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Aligern chuckles, then firm and certain he says, not likely, though it might not be impossible. You need people with the appropriate knowledge. I'm sure the cult of the changing god will hold the answer. Her distance is evident in the expression of her echoes, although the face of the one in the lead remained carefully impassive. Distaste. You turn to the insane to help a newborn. Where's your judgment, Aligern? I would take him to the Order of Truth. The Order of Truth? Are you mad? They would sooner take us apart. Okay. What's the Order of Truth? Knowledge seekers, that learned who try to wrest secrets from the hearts of the prior worlds. They gather in the city to exchange their findings and help humanity to build a brighter future. She smiles brightly. Our friend Aligern here was once one of them. Aligern. Frauds, quackslavers, and charlatans. They don't have all the answers, and I'd not trust them with the changing god's secrets. You're just angry that they couldn't help you with yours. Her echoes tinkle laughter. But I am being too cruel, dear Aligern. Let us take our new friend to the Order. Despite what she says, they're not insane. They're eccentrics. She laughs, but he soldiers on. They're worshippers of, well, of you or your sire, the changing god. They devote their lives to understanding your kind. I figured out myself. Hold on, I'll come with you. Wouldn't want you getting lost, would we? Suspicious as always, Aligern. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it is full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you safely to where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A sunny smile crosses her faces. Okay, then let's go. He may not follow you forever. Okay, well. Fragments. Flexible 2 was here be later addition. Someone's cobbled the device together, but its function is unclear.
All right.
Ha 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 ha.
Of course.
Leave no stone unturned. Be sure to use your companions to assist when completing tasks. Their skills might give you the advantage you need. Very well.
I need to talk to you.
Do you? Do you really?
This is the reef of fallen worlds, kid. It's a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
Why were you looking at me when you said that? I wasn't, he growls. Don't be so paranoid. And when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly.
It's a plan.
I'll talk to these guys later. Two floating cones whirl and spin deliriously around each other, giggling like children being tickled. The air around them smells of sweet burning leaves. I ain't gotta try, I can just do it. You manage to graze one of them with the tips of your fingers. Roarn, a voice says, and your vision is stolen from you. A moon hangs over you, but it is not the one you recognize. It's black, and in a pearl-white sky, thick, flat asteroids orbit it like petals in the wind. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and the hot wind on your face smells of scorched hair and grief. The vision returns. The cones hang motionless for only a second before resuming their giggling dance. Watch over patterns.
All right.
Let's do this. I am a looter.
Without doubt.
Good. Alright, we're gonna save this game. Alright, so this has been my first foray into Tides of Numenera. And I'm going to be getting back into this probably when I get home from work and recording some more, but as for now, this will probably be the first episode. I'm sorry it was mostly story and exposition, but that's what I had to work with, so hopefully it gets a little bit more exciting in the next one here for you. And I'll attempt to do a better job reading the rest of the dialogue in the future, because, you know, I'm not used to having to do that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.